So we will be going through some summer dishes, like I said today. The amazing staff at Union, including owner Kim Heidemann and their head chef Chris Dreiling, are going to walk us through some of their dishes. So today we're going to be talking about their Bloody Mary deviled eggs, which is a crazy concept, but I was there for the filming and definitely got to eat some of the foods. So the Bloody Mary deviled eggs were amazing, and then also the whipped feta with some ciabatta, some toasted ciabatta on the side. Those were all great dishes. And then we'll also show you their wildflower cocktail later in the installment as well. But we really don't have that much pre-work. This is just summer light dishes that you can serve, for a party or for a friend coming over, or if you just want to make it for yourself and sit out on the porch and enjoy this nice Denver sun. All things that you can do with these amazing dishes. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to our recording right now. And you'll get to see firsthand from Chef Chris Dreiling how to make these dishes. All right, give me 1 second, and I'm going to make sure that we have audio and everything like that, and we will get the virtual excursion rolling here.
Welcome in to Union and American Bistro in Castle Rock. The amazing team here is going to walk us through some great dishes and drinks. So without further ado, take it away, Chef Chris.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do another little installment today of a couple items that we serve here at the restaurant, but I think kind of through our explanations and stuff today that would be more than achievable and easy for you guys to make at home. We're kind of getting into spring. Weather's warming up now, and we're not eating as heavy of dishes as we've done in the past. We're going to kind of lighten things up. Today we're going to do a couple of appetizers that would be, just as easy for you to fix for yourselves at home. They're also great for entertaining, or if having family over and this and that. Little special for us today. We have a couple of guests that are going to be joining us today. We have Miss Janet, and then we have my mother today, Sherry. So I think without further ado, we'll get in. Okay, so today we have a couple of fun little items. We're going to make a whipped feta with balsamic strawberries and toasted ciabatta, and we're also going to make a Bloody Mary deviled egg. I think what we'll do is we'll start with the whipped feta, just because it's closer to the food processor. So we've kind of shown you all the ingredients, and we have our recipes listed as well already. But I'll kind of just explain a little bit of what we got going on here. So we have feta cheese. This can be, we use a crumbled version here at the restaurant, but this could totally be, they sell big blocks of it that you can totally use and break up on your own if you prefer that. Or they also sell the crumbles as well. We have Greek yogurt, extra virgin olive oil. We have the zest of 1 lemon, our strawberries that we'll get to here in just a little bit, and some honey. We've also kind of laid out a little bit of our the ciabatta that we make here at the restaurant. This is yet again totally a preference thing. You guys can totally use sourdough bread or anything of your liking. A little bit over here we'll get into after we make the feta is the makings for our deviled eggs, and I'll explain kind of what we've done with our eggs here, or how we do them here at the restaurant. And then we have just a couple of mint and parsley for some garnishes, and I think we'll just kind of get into it here.
Can I ask what an EVO is?
So EVOO stands for extra virgin olive oil.
I didn't know that.
That's kind of just a quicker way for us to write it. Yeah, you'll see it all over the recipes in our.
Okay.
And here at the restaurant. Yep, that's right. And we'll say it every now and then too. I grab me the Evo, or things like that. But yeah, that's exactly what that means. It's a great question. So kind of starting out with here. So you could totally mix this in a bowl with a whisk if that's what you have. It will work just fine. Today we're going to go ahead and use a food processor. Obviously we have a big one here at the restaurant, but We'll go ahead and take the top off of this guy. We're kind of just going to dump everything in here and let the machine do the work today. It'll be a little different than videos we've done in the past here, but we're going to dump in our feta cheese.
Chris, can you use a blender too? Or
You could use a blender as well. Yep, that'll give you a it'll give you a smoother texture, and it'll almost it might end up looking a little more creamy, if you will, or a little more liquidy. But no, a blender would work just fine.
But just using a whisk, though, would you get any of that creaminess just by whisking it?
You
Especially the
would.
feta cheese.
You would. The cheese would be a little harder to break up. It will be a little grainy.
Can you warm it up?
Yeah, absolutely. Not too much. We have found here, just even we actually keep plates, or the plate that we're going to serve this on will be one of our boards over here that we keep kind of cool. We've learned that even if a plate is semi-warm, when we put this spread on it, it just immediately liquefies. So we've got our feta cheese and our yogurt. We're going to go in with our extra virgin olive oil. That's right. The zest of our lemon, and actually I'm going to use about half of this. Just to start, if you end up putting a lot of zest in, you can. I've always kind of gone by the rule of you can always add more. You can't take it out once it's in.
So
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The zest is just the outer.
Yeah, that's right. And here in just a little bit, I can actually grab the tool that we use. It's called a microplane. But they through Amazon and all your restaurant supply stores and stuff like that. They sell a ton of stuff that you can use.
So how far down? So I know that you do, the zest is the outside, but so when you hit white, is that when you stop?
That's when we stop. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. We're going to finish with a little bit of our honey here. This can be another. We have it in our recipe to taste, and what we mean by that is, if you like things a little on the sweeter side, you can always add more. If you don't like it on the sweet side, you can either leave this out or just not put as much in. So we have all of our ingredients in here too. In videos in the past that we've done, I've always liked to, we season all of our food here. What we're gonna do with this though, because feta is super salty, I'm not going to do that. We're going to blend this and taste it first, and then just make sure if we need to add a little more or not. But we'll go ahead.
So is there a reason why you wouldn't put maybe a small amount of the fresh herbs in that?
You could totally do that.
To kind of give it that.
Absolutely,
extra...
and that would actually brighten it up.
Okay.
This just for the blending purposes of it. We make this mix first. I will chop these herbs here in just a little bit, and then we will use it as a garnish. And that's what we do here at the restaurant. Because by the time you get it to the table and you're pulling your bread apart and you're kind of going in for a dip, you're kind of mixing that all in anyways.
Right.
But you could totally add that all in, absolutely. Okay. So as you can see, we did that for about 30 to 45 seconds.
It smells delicious.
We are going to just take our spoon. My other suggestion with this would be too, anytime you're blending or you're food processing items, believe it or not, you do create a little bit of heat. My suggestion with this would be we're going to take this out of this container and put it into something else, and you could pop this in your refrigerator for just even like 10 or 15 minutes, just to cool it down, and it'll solidify, if you will. Okay, so we had mentioned before about toasting bread that we're going to serve with this feta today. So what we're going to do here, we have house-made ciabatta that we serve here at the restaurant. Like I said, any crusty bread that you have or prefer, I think a sourdough would go really good with this as well. But all we're going to do, this is just going to be a really simple execution, if you will. So you have your bread slices on your pan that's going into your oven, a toaster oven. I'm not sure if an air fryer would work or not, but if you had a toaster oven or your regular oven at 350, it's just fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our extra virgin olive oil and just give a good little layer on each piece. Yet again, if you had kosher salt, or if you do have sea salt here at the restaurant, we use a coarse sea salt just to season your bread a little bit. And then this is going to go into your oven. That's, you know, about 350 for about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, so while we have our bread toasting, we're going to go ahead and kind of finish the makings of this dish, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to plate it. Here I have 4 strawberries. This, yet again, for how many people you're serving or preference. Right now we're using strawberries. This would go good with apples, grapes. Sky's the limit as far as, you know, what kind of fruit you like to eat. So we're just going to cut the tops off of them. Just really simply slice it.
So what about veggies with that?
You know, veggies would go good with this as well. Carrot sticks, celery.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you could garnish it with fruit and veggies if you wanted.
Absolutely. I don't think a little sliced prosciutto would be terrible, or a salami of your choice.
Oh, there you go.
All right, that's the beauty of food. You can.
Anything you want.
Sky's the limit. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get these in a bowl right here, and I am going to drizzle a balsamic syrup over the top. What this is going to do is the freshness of the strawberry and the sweetness of the syrup is going to balance really, really well with the citrus and kind of the bitter, salty flavors that we have going on with the feta.
I've never thought about putting that on fruit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I always sneak another pinch of our sea salt in here too. That could totally be up to you as well. And then also we're just going to give a quick chop on these herbs here. So here I have fresh parsley. And we're going to kind of get this fairly fine.
So I have a question about herbs.
Uh-huh.
So I buy fresh herbs all the time, but they only last for a couple of days. So is there a secret on how to store them?
We use so many of them here too. Not in an airtight container. You'll notice some of the containers you buy, if you buy the smaller packs in the grocery store, they come in that little plastic container that you open up.
Right.
I would suggest, you know, keeping them in a container that is
There's a little bit
kind of allowed to breathe, so to speak.
Okay.
Yep.
So a Ziploc baggie with the paper towel that's how I've been doing.
So that's not a bad idea. If you poke a couple of small holes in it, a lot of the herbs that we buy them in bulk here at the restaurant.
Okay.
Come in like what we call like a perforated bag, like with little holes in them.
Refrigerate or
Yeah, refrigerate for sure.
Okay.
And then what I like to do is, you'll see it a lot, like after we have a huge herb garden on the side out here. What I like to do is, when we're kind of getting towards the end of the season, we put those in with extra virgin olive oil and make oils out of them.
Wow.
So
That's a great idea.
Uh-huh. So we're just picking the mint leaves off of the stems because nobody likes to eat stems.
Unless it's cilantro.
Yeah, that's right. I can give you guys a little bit of a technical show here. So this works for mint, basil. It really would work for parsley as well. But you're gonna get all your leaves kind of like this, and we're just gonna, not really tight, but we're gonna roll them.
And what does that do?
So it just makes it easier to cut it.
Cutting.
Uh-huh.
Okay, gotcha.
So the type of cut that I'm doing right now is referred to as chiffonade, which literally translates to into ribbons. the mint is so small that it won't really reflect that. You really see it with basil, and that's what you would make this cut to. You know, it would garnish your pastas and stuff like that.
Right,
But
right.
for here, we're just gonna do. We'll set this off to the side because it's just gonna go on top of our cheese mix that we made. I'm looking right now into our oven, and our bread is totally ready to go. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and finish assembling our plate. We have our toasted bread, we have our strawberries that we mixed with a little balsamic syrup and sea salt, the yogurt mix that we just made. Here at the restaurant, we just use these wood tablets, but yet again, whatever plates, serving dishes, whatever you have is just fine. You guys can use this with a spoon at home. I'm just going to kind of plate this the way we do at the restaurant here. So I just take a big scoop, kind of in the corner of my plate here. And then the fun part is we're going to kind of smash the middle, drag it out. There's really no specific reason other than just for plating purposes of why we do that.
That's pretty.
Yes, absolutely. On top of this, we're going to add our chiffonaded mint and our chopped parsley. I always like to just finish this too with a little more of our extra virgin olive oil. Our sliced strawberries are going to go right here in a little pile.
So how many people does that serve typically? Like, is that for two or?
So this plate, yes, I would say 2, possibly 3.
Okay.
When you make this recipe at home, I would say if you had more than 4 people, you should probably double it.
Double it. Okay.
Uh-huh. But folks, as you can see right here, we've basically put this together in about 10 minutes. And that is what your final product looks like.
Beautiful.
Okay, so today, our second dish that we're going to make, I know they're super popular around Easter, but there's so many different variations and different recipes that you can use these days. We're going to make a deviled egg. Here at the restaurant, we do a Bloody Mary deviled egg.
And is that Bloody Mary as we think of Bloody
Yes,
Mary?
absolutely, just like the cocktail. Yep, we're going to make it into a deviled egg today. So, what we're going to start out with here, I have kind of your usual suspects, is what I like to call them, your Dijon mustard and your mayonnaise. We're going to use a little bit of Bloody Mary mix, some horseradish, pickle juice, and then in the recipe that you guys have provided, I use tomato powder here at the restaurant. Tomato paste would work just fine.
So do you make your own Bloody Mary mix?
Here at the restaurant, we do not. We have a super awesome company called Zing that does it for us.
Okay.
It's more of the spices that we rim our glasses with. We make here in house, and kind of the garnishes that we use here. That's kind of what makes that
So
dish.
store-bought Bloody Mary mix would do just
Would be
fine.
just fine. Yeah, just because and in my opinion, you're mixing so many other ingredients together in this.
Right.
Yeah, it's just fine. You're really looking for that tomato flavor.
Okay, yeah.
So we're gonna get started right quick. I always tell people to peel an egg. It always works a lot better if you smack it on a flat surface. It kind of breaks
As
up your shell.
opposed to the side of a dish.
Yes. You won't damage the egg. 9 times out of 10, your peel will come off a lot quicker. So, while we're on the subject of the eggs, we obviously kind of pre-boiled these before we started today. Living in Colorado is actually pretty cool. We have a super fancy oven that we actually do these in. There's been people that have roasted them in ovens at 350. There's all kinds of tricks, but my favorite is literally take however many eggs you're doing in this recipe. We're going to do 10 of them. You're going to put that in whatever pot that they'll fit in. Cover them with cold water. Put it on your stovetop. Turn your stove on medium high to high heat. and you're going to set a timer for 28 minutes. When that timer goes off, you're going to take your eggs off, run them under cold water, and you will have a perfectly hard-boiled egg, at least here in Colorado, every time.
Really?
Yes.
So I always thought that you're supposed to like put the cold water and the brain food oil and turn the oven on for a half an hour.
So that's where you're gonna see. Hopefully, I don't turn into a liar here. So if you put those in, and the point of after they get done cooking, when you take them off and you want to run them under cold water. I have a super huge ice machine here, so I get to douse mine in ice, and really, you really want to stop that cooking process as soon as you can.
Okay. Is that where you get the green then?
You'll notice the longer you cook this egg is where you get like your greener edges, or you go to pop the yolk out, and yeah, it has like a gray or almost green outer edge.
That's
That is overcooked.
Oh, that's overcooked.
As you can see right here, I can pop this into the bowl right quick. The longer you overcook them too, the tougher your yolks will be.
Right.
As we get into blending this here in a little while, you'll see your mixture will end up as creamy.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to just kind of really quickly here. Go through and pop our egg yolks out.
So you're actually boiling them then for 20 to 25 minutes?
Yeah, I think your actual, by the time the water actually gets up and actually is boiling, it's probably closer to 7 to 9 minutes maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's where you get into the people refer to as like 6-minute eggs, where you almost have a hard boiled egg and it's kind of runny in the middle.
Right.
But I have always, I learned this from one of the first chefs I ever worked for, and it was, you put them in cold water, 28 minutes, take them off, stop that cooking process, and they're perfect every time.
Covered or not covered?
Not covered.
Not covered.
Okay, so we have our egg yolks coming out, and we'll just set our whites off to the side here. So we can fill them here in just a second. But yeah, as you can see, so we have what they refer to as a combi oven that does steam and heat here at the restaurant. And what actually sold me on the first one that we ever bought, we got to go down and see a demo of it done. And they hard boiled an egg in like 10 minutes. Just put them in, done. Don't worry about it. So now we can start kind of assembling our mix. And this is going to go into a food processor again. This one you can use a food processor. You can also treat this almost like if you had a potato masher at home or anything like kind of like that, you could totally do this by hand. This one I would not use it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in with our egg yolks.
Right.
Our Dijon mustard, some mayonnaise, Bloody Mary mix, a tablespoon of horseradish. Now, most of you have grown up with deviled eggs, and everybody uses white vinegar. Since we're going on this Bloody Mary train, I'm going to use just like about a tablespoon of fruit juice.
And why is that?
That gives you your vinegar.
Dill or sweet?
Dill. Yep. I have just a dash of celery salt. Or, I'm sorry, not celery salt. Celery seed. And then I was describing earlier too, Here at the restaurant, I have the ability to order, it's actually a dried tomato powder. For everybody at home, tomato paste works just fine, about a tablespoon. This one we are going to... season with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Yet again, you have all of the mixes and the vinegars and the horseradish in here are going to add that salty element too, so you don't want to overdo it. But just...
Looks like this might serve about 4 to 6 people.
I would think so, yeah. Yep. So this again goes into your food processor, or you're going to mash this by hand until it gets to the consistency that you want it. Nice and smooth. And then I can show you guys a cool little trick here to pipe them and fill your eggs.
A special egg skipper.
No, but we do have a Ziploc bag, yes. So we have our mix made, and now it's time to fill your eggs. So here at the restaurant, we have pastry bags that we use. A lot of people either have these at their homes or they don't. Totally fine if you don't. We're going to do it today with a Ziploc bag. So any size you can have. We have gallon-sized bags here at the restaurant, so that's what we're going to use today. It might be a little easier to handle if you had a quart, or like even a sandwich bag. So we're just gonna pop our plate out here. So we're just gonna fill our bag.
What did you use for hot sauce again?
Just Tabasco. But that, yet again, if there's a different type of hot sauce,
That
typically
you use in your home,
that you use, that's totally fine. Typically, Tabasco is what's used in your traditional Bloody Mary.
Okay.
And I didn't put really enough in here to make it super spicy. Yet again, that could be to your preference as well.
Right.
But we have. I'm not going to seal this bag up just because I need to get the air out. And as we start to pipe and fill our eggs, you're going to want that kind of open. So, as we set this to the side here, whatever plate that you're going to use, we're going to use this one here. But yet again, whatever serving dish you have, whatever plate you want to use is totally fine. They make really awesome. My sister actually likes to use an actual deviled egg plate that you can individually set them on. If you don't have one of those, we're going to force all of our filling into one corner of our bag, and we're just going to cut a small part of the corner off of that. Since we're going on this plate, what I'm going to do is just a little dollop of where I'm going to put my eggs. This is going to give us a point to secure them, so to speak. So if you get this on the plate, then they won't slide around on you. Then you can go ahead and stick your egg white on top, and it won't move around on you.
That is such a great idea.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. This one has an egg dish.
Okay, folks, so we've got the tip of our bag cut off here. We're just going to go ahead and fill our eggs.
Then do you chill those for a little while before you serve them? Or
You could, yep.
But you don't have to.
No, this would be good to go just as it is.
So I like to end mine with paprika. Would that fit in?
So paprika totally would fit in.
Okay.
what I'm going to do and how we do this at the restaurant is I would like to show you guys just a couple of different options that you have. Here at the restaurant, we have another item on our menu that allows us to pickle green tomatoes. That recipe is included. I wasn't going to get into that. But we're just going to top our eggs with a little bit of pickled green tomato.
That's okay.
How would I buy them in a store or?
This would probably be, I don't know that I've ever seen a pickled green tomato in the store.
Yeah.
I would,
You have to do it?
that would be the recipe, and it's super easy.
Oh, okay.
It's basically all the ingredients that are on that list. You're just going to,
So what is pickling spice?
pickling spice is kind of a mixture of mustard seed, cinnamon stick.
So but you could buy that at the store? Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. So we're just topping these here. Now for those that finish with your paprika would work, smoked paprika would work. Here at the restaurant, since we do have a Bloody Mary martini on our list,
Oh, nice.
we rim our glasses with what we call our eye opener spice. And this is just a mixture of chili powder and salt and black pepper, kind of going on the lines of your paprika. But we're just going to dash the top of them. And then I also, just to reiterate the tomato powder part of it, we hit it with a little bit of that as well.
Beautiful.
Those are a Bloody Mary deviled egg.
Hi, today we're going to be making our wild blossom cocktail. We're going to start with a couple glasses of ice. We're going to do 2 ounces of our lavender vodka.
So that's 2 ounces when you kind of go whoop, whoop.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 1 ounce of our vanilla vodka.
That's good.
So is that just, you go by numbers?
Yeah, so typically you
that
can
was just
count.
the one.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yep.
So you basically count to 1 and then you
I count to 2 for 1 ounce,
For 1
and then we do count to 4. For
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay.
We're doing a splash of fresh lime juice. We are doing some of our homemade blackberry puree, and if at home you do not have blackberry puree, we can muddle up some blackberries, add some sugar to it, kind of add that to your drink. It'll be a good substitute.
I've never been.
So how come it's red?
The blackberries.
Yeah, but the blackberries are usually like a purple color.
Yeah, I don't know, just the
Maybe
color
the
it
sugar
turns
or
out.
something. Yeah.
We add a little lime juice to it too, so maybe that
that's
kind of lightens
true.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna do some passion fruit puree as well. Just a little squeeze of that. We're topping it with some soda. Kind of mellow out the sweetness there. And I'm just gonna toss it to get a little mix there.
And most of the stuff we could make at home, like the passion fruit, what was in the white bottle?
Passion fruit
Yeah.
puree, you could probably buy that at any liquor
Any
store.
little wine or
I've
something.
seen it at Total Wine
Yeah.
before, yeah.
Okay.
And then the blackberry, like I said, you can kind of just mess
Right,
around,
make
make
your
your
own.
own at home. And then lime juice,
Yeah.
easy there, yeah. And then we're just gonna top it off with some fresh lime. Make it all pretty like that.
So who came up with this drink?
Our bar manager, Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Of course.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm just gonna grab one of these right away because these look delicious. And then, okay. Catherine, you want to share one? And then should we just, Chris, you're standing right there. Should we just go like this and put it on the bread, or is it to dip?
Absolutely.
Whatever we want.
Yep.
Sure.
You want to share? Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yummy. feel like we should fight it at the same time.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Are we ready? Is everyone ready to take their first feta cheese bite? Oh, good idea. Wait, hold on. Put the strawberry on. Put the strawberry on. Good idea. Good idea.
So,
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready? I feel like we can do a cheers. A cheers. 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 Cheers.
you think this would work, and then it does, and it's like,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So good. Yeah, that's delicious. Sorry guys.
Chris, this is amazing.
That tastes so good.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good. Now I'm just gonna dip into my egg. You can take them, take individual. Oh my gosh. I know they're so good. Holy smokes.
My.
It's not overpowering either. These are really good. Awesome.
This is amazing. I've
Like,
never had
took
a better dinner shake.
Right, you Yeah, let's do a cheers. Sherry, you want to grab your glass?
We tried
Sure.
we didn't like this, and then like we finally
Just
figured
do a
out
cheers
the
to
menu,
Union.
wrote me the menu, and she's like, these are
Cheers to Union, Chris, and a little help. Woo-hoo! Hey, everyone. Thank
so
you.
we struck the whole recipe.
Muted. Thank you everybody for joining. So obviously we kind of tried a little bit of a different format this time. We wanted to call that Conversations with Chris. So we'll have a couple of people come down with us every time and ask Chris questions as he's cooking. So obviously we could get those great tips like the storing herbs in a plastic bag with some holes poked in them, or any of the other mini tips that Chris gave out. But we'd love for you to join us for our upcoming virtual programming. We have a lot more than just these virtual excursions. We'll have a little talk coming up pretty soon here. Keep your eyes out on social media and our website for that, also email. And then we will also have some webinars, including a really cool one that one of our interns is putting on. It is on emergency preparedness, and that will be coming up pretty soon as well. You can find all of this information at alittlehelp.org/little talks, and I'm going to throw that in the chat right now if anyone wants to visit that. But again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'd love to see you at our next virtual excursion, which will be in June. But until then, we hope everybody had a great time on this one, and we appreciate everybody being here. All right, have a good rest of your day.